Good evening to everyone. So, just to see a show of hands, how many of you never learned meditation before? Everyone learned before, so everyone veteran already. Okay, only one person raised the hand. So I presume the rest are two. Okay, beginners. Okay, show of hands, how many of you are non-Buddhists? Any non-Buddhists here? Okay, so I'm going to use a lot of terms and jargons which can be quite Buddhistic. And also another show of hands, how many of you have never taken Buddhist classes before? Never attended any lectures or talks on Buddhism? Okay, so I will just go through the presentation. If along the way there's any questions, you can type it or you can unmute yourself to ask. Yeah, feel free to question and ask. So the format will be very simple, like half an hour of theoretical sharing. I don't want too long because if not, some people's attention span might, their mind will run here and there. Even though it's a meditation class supposed to focus, right? So we are going to have more practical session. So there will be a bit of theory and then followed by some practical, how to give these guided instructions. So we shall start. Okay, so I think this meditation thing has been very popular now, especially I think in the West, due to many reasons, and I believe the current thus have I seen Buddhist Film Festival. There's one documentary film on mindfulness as well. There's journalists that experimented themselves on mindfulness practice, and results still unclear. Results still unclear. So again, a lot of things you should be able to experience for yourself. Luckily, this is free of charge, so no money back guarantee. Right. So the whole idea of the practice is not a half an hour or 1 hour sitting. Yeah, meditation is not a 1 hour or half an hour sitting. It's actually a holistic lifestyle. Holistic lifestyle. Yeah, so the first, I'm going to just introduce you this Eightfold Path, so you have the right understanding, right thought. So right understanding means your intention, your motivation of learning meditation or practicing. If a person practice to be more successful, or some people would have good luck, good fortune, or whatever more secular reasons, then that's not really the right intention. But if your intention is to become a better person, a purer person, how to overcome your anger, how to overcome your greed, reduce your stress or self-discovery, then that's the right class for you. It means you're on the right class. And once you have this understanding, right, and I'm going to go through Four Noble Truths very long. So we have this right thought. Yeah, right thought. Because the cause of our suffering is greed and hatred. So right thought in our meditation, we'll be doing the opposite. So for normally we start off with using loving kindness to overcome hatred, followed by contemplation of impermanence to overcome greed. So these are the two mainly two kinds of meditation I'll be repeating. So it's like a mantra. So throughout the whole meditation, I'll keep repeating, yeah, keep generating loving kindness or keep generating impermanence. So this is in line with right effort. Always repeat. Okay, so I'll go through the rest first. So you have these things in your daily life. I'm going to go through these are moral values. We've taken the precepts. So in your daily life, live ethically, live righteously. You cannot expect to go do all kinds of wrong things in your daily life and expect to sit down here and have a calm and peaceful 1 hour. No, no such thing. And the mind that you operate outside in your daily life is the same mind you're working with. It's the same equipment. So if you want to improve your mind, it's a holistic process. It's just like fitness and exercise, for example. Right? You can't be going to the stadium or going to the gym for hours and then the whole rest of the day you're snacking and lying on the sofa and whatever not. Yeah? So you require certain discipline, right, to maintain this mental health or mental fitness. Okay, so the last 3 is also regarding meditation. Right effort again is a repetition, right thought. So there's a story. There's a story I'd like to share. It's an analogy in the scripture. So the Buddha was actually asking his disciples. There's a meditation called contemplation on death. And that is to reflect, okay, one day I will die, one day I will die. I will be subject to death. So that is the contemplation on death. It is not asking us to go and die, I know. It's a contemplation on the reality. One day we will go through this process, right? So the Buddha was asking his disciples, the monks, how often do you reflect on this contemplation on death? So one of the students raised his hand and said, every year during my birthday, when I get older, that means I'm 1 year closer to death. And the Buddha said, no, too slow. If you only think for 1 day, what happened to the 364 days? What are you thinking? Right? And the next monk raised his hand and he said, every season, India has 3 seasons, winter, summer, and rainy seasons, monsoon season. So they have the 3 seasons. Every season, every time a season change, then he thinks I'm getting closer to death. So the Buddha said, no, too slow. And another monk says, every full moon and new moon. The Buddha said, oh, also too slow. And another one said, every week, also say too slow. And another one says, every day, when I wake up, it's like birth. And when I go to sleep, it's like dying. And the Buddha said, no, too slow. Still too slow. Then the model student raised his hand, said, every breath, when I breathe in, closer to death. When I breathe out, also another moment closer to death. And the Buddha said, yes, bagus, correct. This is the right kind of effort. That means it's the rate per minute of reflection, RPM, rate per minute of reflection of this contemplation. So it has to be the repetition. A lot of times in a lot of meditators, common problems or mistakes is that they'll sit there and a lot of times they let the mind idle or do nothing. Or some people even instruct, teachers instruct the students, just do nothing. And once the mind do nothing, then the mind will stray, have either they daydream or stray, fantasize or worry or whatever not. Then it's not meditation anymore, right? That's what we do before we sleep. Before we sleep, we don't do anything. And that's how we fall asleep, right? If our mind's always engaged, then we won't fall asleep. And there's also interesting old saying, an idle mind is the workshop for the devil. So once you leave your mind autopilot only, then that's it. Gone. That means you leave your mind to habitual tendencies, habitual karma. So they are just random. So no training. Right? It's like going to a gym or a stadium, and you just sit there, just hang around. And you tell your friends, hey, I go to gym every day. I spend 1 or 2 hours in the gym or in the stadium, but I never use any equipment. I don't do any reps. I just sit there, just moving. Right? So similarly, if you want to sort of tell people, I practice meditation every day, but I do nothing, just sit there, do nothing. Yeah, so very easy. Certain hindrances will come, maybe like falling asleep and daydreaming, and they can be sleeping for, sometimes they tell you they sit for 2 or 3 hours in meditation. Maybe they're sleeping. After they get up, they'll tell you, meditation, very refreshing, Every time I meditate, I get up, wow, so refreshing, so good for the mind. And so that's not meditation, right? So we have to know there's certain training involved. There's a lot of intervention. So there's a lot of right thought inserting into this right effort, right? So I won't go into mindfulness first, then we'll leave to the next few sessions, suppose, and concentration maybe later. Okay, so all these are like a package, 8-in-1, 8-in-1 package. So it's very important to know. So I always also remind the participants after the formal sitting to maintain this mindfulness, maintain right thoughts every moment. Standing, sitting, walking, lying down, all your activities must continue thinking right thoughts. Right? You cannot say, I sit down, I can only when I sit down I can meditate. But once I stand up, cannot produce good thoughts anymore. We are so incapable to produce good thoughts once we do other things, right? So it's not like that. So we have to maintain, try to maintain. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so this was like my physical meditation class before the COVID pandemic started. And so basically, we are, depending on the time, we have loving kindness, meditation, impurities of the body, breath meditation, and mainly these meditations will cover samatha, concentration, and vipassana, insight. Right? All meditations have these two aspects, either concentration or insight. So I'll explain it later. Yeah? So these are very general, comprehensive, and safe general approaches to most beginners. In the Buddha's time, the Buddha can actually assign one meditation object. Maybe they just, for example, they do impurities of the body and they practice and they reach enlightenment. But they don't have to practice the others. Yeah? Or another monk, they just practice loving kindness will do, and then they reach enlightenment. So, but being Singaporean, we are a bit kiasu, so we practice more. Because I do not know how to diagnose you. So I will just use everything. And then in your own free time, you just pick the one that you prefer, have the strongest inclination, then you just specialize in it. Okay. So we are not doing any of this for our class. We are not trying to gain supernatural abilities, no iron jacket, no qigong. Yeah, our meditation, no qigong involved, no protective field around the body, no healing. Yeah, although we tell you, yeah, meditation good for healing, but healing the mind. Yeah, healing the mind. So we are not. There are other meditation practices that specialize in this, but we are not doing any of this. And some new age meditation workshops will tell you aura reading. So we are not doing any of those also. No funny special stuff. Okay, so we are going to go through what is this samatha and vipassana, concentration and insight. So the analogy of concentration is a bit like weightlifting, or if you don't like exercising, then maybe charging the battery of your device, recharging the mind. So concentration is to unify the mind, make the mind stronger. But there are some perks and incentives. So the mind will have delight, rapture, will be calm, joy, and thus concentrated. So this term samadhi have many interpretations. Some people translate as concentration. So when we think of concentration, some people will think, oh, concentration must force the mind to one area. A lot of people have this misconception. Sometimes it's due to the translation problem. It may not be that kind of concentration. Samadhi means tranquility, means peace, means stillness. So the mind will enjoy certain peace. So, but this exercise requiring unifying of the mind. You require to fix your attention to an object of meditation. So it doesn't have to be a small area. So if you do loving kindness, you wish all beings well and happy. So you have to maintain that all beings. So it can be a large area. It doesn't have to be a small area. So that is the samatha aspect, right? Concentration aspect. And the next aspect would be the undirected mind. So this is more like the vipassana. So the mind is sort of let loose, freestyle, all over the place, not concentrated, set free. So the mind is basically scattered. So this is a bit more skill, require more skill. So we may or may not do this thing depending on the lesson, but every meditation object, be it when it is fixing or deliberately expanding the mind, whenever we think of impermanence, that itself is a kind of vipassana. That is a kind of insight and wisdom. So it doesn't have to be scattered all over the place, right? Or freestyle mode, but as long as we are able to contemplate, reflect, and gain some wisdom from wherever our attention is at, that is already a kind of insight. So I will go through that more again in the future lessons. Okay, so regarding these two practices, there's no hard and fast rule. There are many schools of Buddhism or many meditation communities. For example, let's say in the Burmese Mahasi Sayadaw tradition, they may maybe just do insight only. Insight. Maybe they just do vipassana only. Then they do vipassana, and another tradition, maybe for example, certain traditions will do samatha first, concentration first, right, followed by insight. So our style is more like both, tranquility and insight together. Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule. So I'm going to give a case study from the Buddha's time. This Venerable Ananda. Venerable Ananda is the attendant of the Buddha, also the Buddha's cousin. So he's the monk foremost in memory. Whenever the Buddha gives his sermon, this Venerable Ananda will be down there recording, mentally recording all the teachings. Okay, so this story is about him. He went to interview. He did a survey, interview all the enlightened monks at his time to find out what was their strategy. What did they practice to reach enlightenment? So he came up with these 4 classifications. So they give their feedback, and there are generally 4 kinds of strategies. So the first group of monks, they do samatha first. They do concentration, the mind very still already. Then usually these are like the ascetics. So concentration, they enter concentration. Then they meet the Buddha, or they came across the Buddha's teaching. Then they talk about impermanence, let go. Then there's some wisdom or insight. Then they eventually reach this enlightenment. And another group is the opposite. They do insight first. These are more like the scholars and academics. They think a lot, they have lots of idea, understanding about Buddhism, but they cannot keep the mind still. So they think and reflect. So after some proper conditioning inside, then they do this tranquility, then they reach this enlightenment. So these are the first two groups. And the third group is the mixture. So most of the Buddha's instruction, like the breath meditation, depending on whether we have time, there are 16 steps in all. If you want to read up yourself, there is a combination of tranquility and insight. Yeah, the last few steps talk about insight, contemplation of impermanence. The middle steps talk about calming the mind, tranquility. So there's a combination of both. It's not like, okay, just feel the breath and fix the mind there. No. For example, let's say the Mahasi tradition, they only think about impermanence of the breath. So they just focus one aspect, right? So the Buddha actually taught both, two in one. And the last one, very interesting. The last group of monks, in the scripture, they don't call it Zen koan style. This one I come up with my own term. What happened was this group of monks have certain doubt about the teaching, certain query. It's just like some discussion, then certain thing they doubt. Then they keep asking and asking until they reach enlightenment. So very similar to the Zen koan style, like the Zen master will give the student one question. I don't know, maybe what's the sound of one hand clapping or whatever it is. So the student will think about it, think, until their mind calm down or whatever it is, and they reach enlightenment. So this is generally the four styles, four strategies acknowledged in the sutta. You can search for yourself. Yogananda Sutta, yeah, in tandem. So all these are various combinations. No right or wrong. You can practice. No, if let's say you're in a comfortable, quiet environment, sitting, then you might want to focus more on this one, tranquility, calming the mind. But if you're busy, you're planning and you're working, now then maybe you want to observe impermanence, something like that. So you can mix and match yourself. Sometimes you want to combine both, yeah, or you want to do vice versa. Busy environment, you want to try tranquility. Noisy environment, quiet environment, you want to try insight. So you try out the various combinations of self, see which is suitable for you, and hopefully you can hit the right conditions and strike the lottery. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So these are like the various kinds of meditation. So these are like the post-canonical version or other modern Theravada list of meditation objects. So these are like based on the Visuddhimagga. They'll tell you 40 meditation objects. There was a previous book before the Visuddhimagga called the Vibhuddhimagga, Path of Liberation. So this Visuddhimagga is path of purification, 40, path of liberation has 38 meditation objects. But in the suttas, original suttas, there are much more, many more methods. So this is just a general guide. Of course, the more popular ones are probably the ones in yellow. So like the ones on the left are more like the visualization kinds of meditation. So like the earth device, they ask you to stare at the clay pot, fire device, stare at the candle, stare at the fire, something like that. So these are visualization meditation. So like the corpses, all these are, we try to keep this session family friendly. So we won't do too much gruesome things. In the India, ancient times, or even now, certain places have this charnel ground. That means they do not have proper burial for the dead bodies. So the bodies are just thrown all over the place on the surface. So they have, the yogis have chance to just sit beside the corpse and reflect at the corpse. And one day I'll become like this. So this is the practice. Not that the practitioners are psychopathic. No, they just one way, one of the method, not suitable for everyone, but certain people suitable. So we'll go into that in detail. And on the right, very common, certain schools, yeah, think of the Buddha. I think all traditions will have this. So in the Thai tradition, they just use the one word syllable, just Buddho. Yeah, quite simple, yeah, when to chant long mantras. Then Dharma, just think of Dhammo, Sangha, just Sangho. Yeah? If you can remember all the qualities, by all means, then you can contemplate all the virtues of the Buddha, all the virtues of the Dhamma, all the virtues of the Sangha. No problem. Of course, various traditions have different Buddhas, different Bodhisattvas, all also included. And the different heavenly beings, also part of the meditation. So if a person is, let's say they are monotheistic or polytheistic, right? They can, we also acknowledge, yeah, they also have this meditation, contemplation on their virtues. So they keep recollecting their name or their qualities. That is also a meditation, right? If a person is a non-believer, an atheist, doesn't believe in anything, also can meditate, yeah? Meditate on charity, meditate on virtue, all the good things they've done before. Then they just keep on recollecting all the good qualities, people that they admire and respect, all their virtues, right? Then they can enter calm and peace of mind. So this is also a kind of meditation, right? And I don't want to go through too much of this. Okay, and before we move on further, I'm going to go to the last few slides. Hold on. Do you have any questions at the moment?
Yeah, anyone have any question can unmute yourself.
So I'm just going to share generally. Yeah, somebody unmuted themselves. You can ask. Yeah. Who is me? Oh, okay. I'm asking a Zen question maybe. Who is me? Okay, you're not asking. Okay, so I carry on. Okay, so if you are like on this Zoom session, or if you are beginners, I would encourage you to sit on a chair. It's all right to sit on a chair. Yeah, don't be shy, sit on a chair. If you want to torture yourself, by all means, sit on the floor. No problem. But if you want to sit on the floor and try to be professional, then of course we have a few tips. Try to keep your back upright, even if you're sitting on a chair. The whole idea to keep the back upright is to sort of tilt your lower spine forward, so that the center of gravity is naturally effortless. If you want to keep your back like totally straight, like 90 degrees straight for all the part of the spine, it's quite impossible. You need to have a strong core. Yeah? So if you want a natural way, effortless way to sit upright without having six-pack core muscles, then you can use this method. Yeah? Push your lower spine front a bit, then you agar yourself. See how many degrees, 1 degree, 2 degree. See which one can keep your back upright effortlessly. So you can find the center of gravity without any effort. So this is for the back. And if you want to talk about on the floor, it's good to find a good cushion. If you do not have like a cushion, full lotus is recommended because all the parts of the feet are touching the ground. So the surface area very wide, very stable, very balanced, but you require lots of flexibility. But if you are not flexible and doing this will give you excruciating pain, then we have this 50% discount called the half lotus. 50% discount. So full lotus is both feet on top of both thighs. Yeah, so half lotus is just one of them. So it doesn't matter is it whether left feet or right feet above, doesn't matter. Yeah. So the hands also make sure it's in a comfortable position. Make sure it doesn't strain your shoulder. Find a suitable height or distance. Doesn't slouch your shoulder or doesn't strain. And if you still cannot do the half lotus, still find excruciating pain, then we have more discount. So we have this style, this Burmese style. But of course, this not patented by the Burmese law. So I call this parallel parking. Parallel parking, both feet parallel to each other. So no feet is on top of each other. So this is this Burmese style. Yeah, so you can try if you want. So this one very similar to full lotus. You get the benefit of full lotus, all the feet touching the ground, without the excruciating pain and the flexibility. So this is the this parallel parking. And if this still doesn't work, you can try a stool if you have one. But if you don't have one, and you still want to sit on the floor, then you do your normal sitting. Normal sitting, never mind. Yeah, but sometimes you sit normally, then people might ask you, what's your sitting position? Then you come and learn meditation, then may feel embarrassed, right? You tell people, hey, I sit normal sitting position. Then you must give a professional name. So you're going to give something close to this, but you don't want to tell lies, so you tell them full lotus inverted posture. So full lotus, both feet on top, but you sit normally is both feet below, right? So you tell them full lotus inverted posture. Very cool name, very professional name, right? So you can tell people, I practice sitting full lotus inverted posture. So they'll be wondering what kind of yoga pose you're sitting, right? Okay, so I'll stop my sharing here to let you roughly try out. Any questions before we have a 5-minute break? Anyone? All okay? No problems? I stop share. All okay, no problem, No terms or terminology that cannot understand. Okay, if there's someone typing. Oh, okay, comment. Okay, never mind. Okay, if there's no issues, then we have a 5-minute break. So now it's 8:08. See you at 8:13. Do your stretching. Find a comfortable seat, and I'll see you back at 8:14. Yeah, no, it's 8:09. Okay, see you later. All right. So yes, everyone's back. Yeah, so you can find a comfortable sitting position. Make sure your back is upright. Okay, then we can close our eyes. Make sure we can relax the body. Make sure there's no tension. Okay, once you're tuned and balanced, waiting for a few more to find their seats. Okay, so the first phase of meditation, we are doing this impurities of the body meditation. So it's a bit like a visualization of the human biology and anatomy. So again, we're going to keep this family friendly. So just the external parts of the body. So we're going to visualize the hairs. All the hairs from head to toe. We are going to wish them well and happy. So this is to reduce this aversion. Normally, an untrained mind, when they experience any contact, will go to the extremes. If you find your hair very nice, very beautiful, then it will develop greed or attachment. The other extreme is, oh, you don't like the hairstyle, you find the hair messy, then you develop aversion. We're practicing the middle way, not 50% of both, but avoiding both extremes. So we use loving kindness, we all the hairs well and happy, reduce this aversion. Every time you think of a new patch of hair, then you wish well and happy. New patch of hair, well and happy. Yeah? It is part of the right effort. This loving kindness is to make the state of mind more embracing. And once you have suffused all the hairs with loving kindness, then we're going to introduce another reflection of impermanence to reduce the greed. So all these hairs go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So they grow and they fall off, they grow and they fall off. Many, many times we think of the birth and death cycles of the hairs. More cycles, the merrier. And no need to over-imagine. No need to imagine how you comb your hair, how you shower. No need. Just hairs growing and falling, growing and falling. if there is detachment, right, to know whether you're doing it correctly, there will be some symptoms, not COVID symptoms, but spiritual symptoms. There should be some either inner peace or inner joy. So this is a sign that you're on the right track. But if, let's say, the more you meditate, the more frustrated you get, more stress, more tension, that means something is wrong somewhere. Too much desire. Then you need to troubleshoot, rework, apply more loving kindness, and then followed by impermanence. Okay, and whatever emotion that arises, we treat them as passerby, passing sceneries. You don't hold on to them, you don't reject them, you just carry on contemplating on impermanence. And no matter how pleasant, how peaceful, all these are the byproduct. So we focus on the cause, planting the seeds, and naturally there will be fruits being reaped. And we can question and ask ourselves. But it's a bit of like a Zen question. Are these hairs truly you, truly self? If it is truly yours, truly you, can you tell it not to grow old, not to fall off? Okay, and we are moving on to the second part of the body. We are visualizing the nails, fingernails and toenails. We wish them well and happy. And all these nails go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. And think of the nails growing and falling, many, many cycles from this birth and death of the nails. So you need to observe also when you reflect, is the mind calmer or is it more restless? And we can ask ourselves, are these nails truly self? And we tell the nails not to go through birth and death. And the next part of the body, we are going to visualize the teeth. We wish all the teeth in the mouth well and happy. All the upper rows of teeth, may they be well and happy. And all the lower rows of teeth, may they be well and happy. And all these teeth go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So the teeth, the most they fall off twice. And so what we are doing is going to just think of the bone cells and the teeth cells, wear and tear, growing and falling, many, many cycles of birth and death. And then we can ask ourselves, are these teeth truly self? And we tell the teeth not to go through birth and death. Okay, then next part of the body, we are going to visualize the skin. You wish all the skin well and happy from head to toe, and the organs that surround the whole body. So again, the skin is quite a large area. So whenever you think of a new patch of skin, you wish it well and happy. New patch of skin well and happy, new patch of skin well and happy. So all the skin go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. The skin keep growing and falling, growing and falling, many, many cycles of birth and death. And then we can ask ourselves, are these skin truly self? And tell the skin not to go through birth and death. Okay, and we are now moving to the phase 2 of the meditation. So we are going to cultivate the 4 sublime states of mind. So this particular practice doesn't require visualization. Yeah, we are now using the sense of feeling the sensations. So we are now going to wish all beings in front well and happy. So wherever far your attention can encompass, whatever sensations you feel within that field of attention, we just wish it well and happy. No forcing, no pushing, just gentle wish. And we come back to ourselves And we wish may all beings behind well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And we wish may all beings on the left well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And we wish all beings on the right well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And now we wish all beings above well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And we wish may all beings below well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. So this time we're going to suffuse the entire body with loving kindness from head to toe, including the insides of the body. And we're just going to wish all the sensations in the body well and happy. And so these sensations is the evidence, yeah, your observable evidence. It's not just theoretical kind of speculation. So from this point onwards, it's all evidential based. Okay, so what kind of sensations are we looking out for? There are four general classifications of the sensations. We call them the four elements. They are namely the earth, fire, wind, and water elements. Nothing magical about them. They are earth. These characteristics represent hard and soft sensations. Fire element represents hot and cold sensations. Wind element represents fast and slow movements. And water element, moist or dry. So the whole idea of this exercise is not to deliberately generate the sensation. No need to control the sensation, no need to reject it. Yeah? No clinging, no pushing. So we just treat all the sensations as passerby, and whenever we detect a sensation arising, we just wish it well and happy. And this is the mindfulness of the body, contemplation. once the mind, you start to feel it getting calmer, then you can familiarize yourself with this state of mind or this emotion. So currently this is a restricted form of loving kindness, still within the confines of the body. And next we are going to expand the mind. We are going to wish all beings well and happy, all beings in all directions. Same thing, no need to push, just a simple general wish, and no need to deliberately conjure any image, no need to calculate how many beings are there on earth. You have no idea. So wherever your field of attention can embrace, that will be your universe. So we're just using the here and now, observable evidence, that is whatever sensation that appear within that field of attention, we just wish it well and happy. New sensation arise, well and happy. New sensation detected, well and happy. So the more you reflect on this loving kindness, there are two aspects. One aspect is the evidence, which are the sensation. The second aspect is the reflection, which is loving kindness, that is to make peace with the observable sensation. So the more loving kindness you generate, the calmer the mind should get. So this is the paradox of skillful thinking. If you leave your mind alone and do nothing, definitely it will run all over the place and all sorts of stray thoughts. And if you find that your mind is generally calm and stable, then this is the practice of samadhi, or the concentration method, using loving kindness. We can familiarize yourself with this state of mind. Remember this emotion and keep generating loving kindness. And next, we are going to add some wisdom or insight into the practice. So we're going to reflect how to develop unconditional loving kindness. So we must learn to practice detachment. So every sensation we are going to reflect on its arising and passing away. And all beings, all sensations will go through birth and death, right? No need to over-imagine. 10 years down the line, oh, my loved one changed, so my loving kindness, is it changing or not? So no need to think too far. We are going to use here and now evidence. All sensations arising, passing, rising, passing. And whatever emotion that appears, treat it as passerby. Keep focusing on the impermanence. And or you think of impermanence and detachment, it's very normal that this joyful or happy emotion like sort of diminish. Yeah, very normal. We can take note of this emotion, this state of mind. And this is the practice of loving kindness using the combination of concentration and insight. And we are moving on to the second sublime state, which is compassion. So we are going to wish all beings, may they be free from suffering. So compassion is to overcome cruelty, overcome violence. So again, no need to over-imagine. If we imagine, oh, somebody is suffering, somebody is starving, or somebody is sick, that would be, we call this the path to circular compassion or this circular empathy. Nothing wrong. Initially, you may generate a few moments of compassion. Next, down the line, you generate lots of worry, how to help this person, how to bring essential aid to help the person. And down the line, you start to maybe feel remorseful or guilty. Oh, can't help the person. One person cannot recover. So this will lead down to depression and this burnout. So for this practice, we are going to cut off the worrying phase onwards. We are just going to focus just on recharging the mind instead of draining the mind. So every here and now moment to moment sensations arising, we wish all sensations, all beings, all formations, all dharmas free from suffering. And the more compassion you generate, and the calmer the mind should get. And if you are doing it correctly, the emotion of this compassion should be quite pleasant. It is not like very sorrowful, very sad, or very depressing. Or even the image of this Bodhisattva Kuan Yin, manifestation of compassion, is depicted as smiling. Kuan Yin is not pulling a long face. And this is the practice of compassion through concentration. And we are adding some insight or wisdom into the practice. And we are going to reflect how to overcome this suffering and how to truly overcome this suffering. And that is to learn to let go of all these sensations, all phenomenon, all dharmas, all sensations. They go through again, birth and death, birth and death. We observe the here and now, sensations arising and passing all the time. So you might feel a similar trend of emotions whenever you start pursuing the path of wisdom, of reflection. So focus on impermanence, treat all emotions as passerby. And this is the practice of compassion using combination of concentration and insight. And next we are going to move to the third sublime state, which is appreciative joy. Now we're going to wish all beings, may they not be separated from what they have achieved. So again, no need to over-imagine using the here and now sensations. All beings, whatever they've achieved is basically the accumulation of the moment-to-moment experience. Every moment you detect a new sensation, then you can rejoice in this new collective experience. And the more you rejoice or be grateful for all the things you've gained, the calmer the mind should get. And if you think your mind is rather calm, then you can familiarize yourself with this emotion and keep generating this appreciative joy, keep rejoicing. And now we are going to add some insight or wisdom into the practice. And we are going to reflect one day all beings will be separated from all that is dear. So all sensation, yeah, they arise and pass away, arise and pass away. No need to imagine, 10 years down the road, I will lose this person or lose that person. And so just use here and now experience. Again, keep focusing on impermanence. And this is the practice of appreciative joy in the combination of concentration and insight. And now we're moving on to the last sublime state, which is equanimity. So for this practice, we're going to reflect on karma. So all beings are the owners of their actions, heir to their actions, related through their actions, whatever good and bad that we do, we shall be the recipient. So again, this one doesn't need to over speculate. Yeah, in the past I've done so and so, this or that thing, and this life or this time I'm going to face certain retribution. And no need to be too metaphysical. We're just using here and now sensations again. Any sensation that arises that is pleasant, that is good, karma's ripening. Any sensation that is unpleasant, that arises, that is bad, karma's ripening. And any neutral sensation, that is neutral, karma's ripening. So in short, every experience are the old karma's ripening. Yeah? Okay, reflecting on karma. The more you reflect on karma, the calmer the mind should get. And if you do it correctly, this emotion that's produced, it's neutral emotion, neutral but refreshing. And there's no joy, no happiness, no sadness, and that is equanimity. So this is the practice of equanimity through the concentration route. And now we are going to add some insight or some wisdom into the practice, and we're going to reflect how to overcome these karmas. All the time you're dragged by karmas, any pleasant feeling, then you feel high, emotional high, unpleasant feeling, then you feel low, and up and down like roller coaster, lots of mood swings. So how not to get dragged by karma? So we're going to practice detachment. All feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, they arise and pass away. This is called mindfulness of feelings. Always mindful of this impermanence. And this is the practice of equanimity through concentration and insight. And this time round, we are going to bring the attention back to the body. And once we've done that, we are going to let the mind freestyle, let the mind scatter, run around naturally. No need to control it, no need to fixate at any area, no need to deliberately expand it, no pushing, no pulling. Okay, so this is like the natural working of the mind, yeah? The most natural behavior of the mind. So what we are doing is real-time contact tracing. Every moment you need to know where is your attention now. So without interfering, you're trying to see things as they really are. Yeah? Natural workings of the mind. So an untrained mind, when the mind runs here and there, it will get sucked into the story. So this time round, whenever we observe this attention moving, we have a theme, yeah? To assist us, we need to observe its arising and passing away. In the Chinese or the Zen saying, they have a very interesting like a verse. Before this mind was born, yeah? This attention is born, where does it arise from? And if it passes away, where does it go to? So our attention is defined or encapsulated by the four elements. Wherever you pay attention, there will be the four elements. You cannot just say there's only mind but no matter. Yeah? So mind, matter is together. At least that will help you to keep track of the mind, be like a GPS. And every time the mind runs, yeah, arises and runs to a new place by itself, that is your old karmas ripening, old karmic formations. It wants you to experience something. And anytime we react with greed or anger, that is, or anytime we interfere, that is creating new karmas. So when we interject good thoughts, we are creating new positive karmas. Okay, so with that in mind, always mindful of this impermanence and good thoughts. In all postures, be it standing, sitting, walking, lying down. Yeah, then we can gently open our eyes. So we formally end the meditation, but informally, right? Actually, we still can meditate. All right. I leave some time on the floor for questions, any problems or issues. Anyone? All okay, no problem. Smooth sailing. On a veteran meditator, no problem. Okay. No one? Okay, then we let maybe Louis want to make announcements.
Okay, so anyone got any question can unmute and ask Bante.
Sometimes the mind too peaceful, cannot generate any question.
I cannot generate question. Okay, so
sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
yes, Raymond.
So when is a good time to do meditation?
Every moment, yeah. Even if you're working or whatever, you can generate good thoughts. Yeah, this like loving kindness. I give an example. Let's say a person can get angry the whole day, frustrated or depressed or upset or grumpy the whole day. Then you can do the opposite, right? Need some conditioning, of course, need some training, but it's possible. You can be joyful or happy the whole day. So you just keep on having loving kindness, wish all beings well and happy. So there are many schools. So if you want to like contemplate or anything, I think many schools have this recitation of the Buddha mantra, chant the Buddha's name or Buddha's qualities. So that can be done in all the activities as well. So there are many methods. So whichever method that you can use throughout the day, then you sort of try to do that.
Okay, because so based on my understanding, normally the morning when you wake up, is this the best time to do it when your mind is still a bit like groggy and still floating around,
Yeah, if you talk about formal meditation, then again you have to adjust. If a person is the blood pressure and maybe still not, the circulation is still not flowing well, sometimes we can do walking meditation, do some other stuff. Yeah, don't have to be in a very still and quiet position where the mind is still sleepy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how about the other time when you're about going to sleep? Is it a good time to meditate before going to sleep?
Yeah, okay. If a person wants to sleep, then it's good to do this loving kindness meditation. It helps in your sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But just now you mentioned, if the day when you're at the office or somehow someone make you angry,
Yeah.
you have to practice loving kindness, So, but at that moment when someone is angry or frustrated, how do you control yourself to bring yourself to that level? Yes.
Yeah, so this again requires training. It's not like an overnight thing. It's not like after you attend my class, you have totally no more anger. Yeah? If that's the case, I will be very successful. Only we call it this anagami, third stage of enlightenment, very close to an arhat, and we overcome anger.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So basically, every day we are fighting against anger.
Don't really put fighting, try to overcome anger, yeah.
Okay.
So, making peace with every contact.
Okay. Hi. Okay. Thank you.
So it's a deliberate reprogramming of the mind. So every moment, whatever you see, hear, smell, think, taste, touch, you have to wish it well and happy.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask? I mean, our posture. Can we actually move when you feel that certain part of it very stiff, or you must stay in that position throughout the meditation?
Yeah, again, depends on what you're training for. If you are training to practice detachment of feelings, right? Not to get angry, then you can do so with or without moving.
Okay. Because it's quite difficult to stay, still.
Yeah,
without-
yeah.
Yeah.
We are not training to be robots.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's all right to move.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are people who train to like stay in a position with circular motivations. Let's say like, of these competitions where people want to win a new car, they're supposed to touch the car and stay in a certain position for as long as possible. Whoever moves or fall asleep or whatever, then you're disqualified. Yeah? So there are training, such kinds of training for this kind of regimental position. I think in the army also the same thing. Those who practice in a parade square will stand in position. So we are not training for this kind of stillness. Yeah, no. There's this saying by this late Venerable Ajahn Chah, Forest Master. He says, we are not training for long sitting. Yeah, any hen, any frog can sit for very long. Yeah, the hen can incubate the egg and sit there for very, very long. Yeah, so we're not training for this long sitting. Right, so what's going on in the mind?
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Bante, can I ask, if you're very sleepy, then should you like do walking or something? Like, cause if you're very sleepy, then you try to sit.
Yawning. Okay, so if
Sorry.
there's lots of tiredness, yes, do walking meditation. So there's like a range of techniques to overcome sleepiness. There's this story of this Venerable Moggallana. He's like the left-hand disciple of the Buddha. Before he got enlightened, he was like nodding in meditation, sleeping, nodding. So the Buddha saw him nodding, so he walked past and gave him some advice, some tips. So the first thing you can do is in meditation, you can increase the rate of investigation. So like just now, you're supposed to observe arising and passing of the sensations. So you try to look out, right, for the impermanence, increase the rate of this birth and death. Right, so this is one way. If it still doesn't work, you still feel sleepy, then you can have recollect the teachings, have like a Dhamma talk in your mind. If that doesn't work, then you have like a mental discussion, a debate in your mind. If that still doesn't work, you can recollect your chanting. If that still doesn't work, then you can do your walking meditation. And if that still doesn't work and you walk and still can fall off, that means you are really very tired, physical exhaustion. Then you can go and take a rest.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question?
Good evening, Bante. I
Yeah.
have a question. So yeah, I'm just curious. So in the Asubha part of the guided meditation just now, you mentioned about like different parts of our body being not self, and the argument is that because we cannot ask them not to be reborn and die, why is the argument for like those being not self is that we can ask them to do those things? I don't know if the question makes
Ask
sense.
them not to go through birth and death.
Yes.
Can you tell your hair to stay the same size forever?
No.
Yeah, because you cannot control. So Is it truly yours? So this is food for thought.
Yes, correct. But what I don't understand is that why those properties means that it is not self or not mine. Because like, I don't know, for example, I have an object, let's say money. It's not like I can ask them not to get off if I tell them, right?
Yeah. So that's the problem, because we believe it is the self, right? Conventionally, yes, you need to identify your items and all this, yeah. But we are talking about the emotional part. There's an emotional attachment because we psychologically identify it as part of yourself. So this is a training to mentally detach. Okay, all right. This one is not self-denial. It's not about saying there's no self at all. No. We were talking about whatever that's subject to change, whatever that causes suffering, then that is not the true self. Because we still, in our work, we still need to live with all these things, right? You still need to have your work, your tasks, your duties. So yeah, you need to operate with a lot of equipment and your body and whatever not. But whenever those things get damaged, and can be external things or internal things, whatever it is, then at least emotionally or mentally we're not so devastated. Okay?
Yeah, I think I understand. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Right, so never mind, this one needs more reflection. Any other questions? All okay?
Okay, any more question? If not, then yeah, it's a good 2 hours. Okay, thank you, Bante. Thank you everyone for joining us.